Pirate radio, is that a good idea? Let's talk about it. Hello, everybody. Once again, welcome back to Ham Shack TV. I'm your host, Josh, AA4WX. Appreciate you being here. Wanted to share a video real quick about a barrage of FCC fines that have recently gone out for pirate broadcasting. It's not a good idea, folks. If you don't have a broadcast license, don't broadcast. It's not rocket science, people. All right, so all of these came out on January 8th. Here's $40,000. Let's look at the first one. This is Efrain Gonzalez for $40,000. It says in this notice of apparent liability forfeiture, which is an NAL, we proposed a penalty of $40,000 against Efrain Gonzalez for operating an unauthorized radio station known as La Ponderosa 89.1 FM on the 89.1 megahertz in Waterbury, Connecticut on both March 26th and April 23rd, 2024, by which Gonzalez apparently willfully and knowingly did caused or suffered to be done pirate radio broadcasting, resulting in two apparent violations. It goes on to say, on January 24th, 2020, Congress passed the Preventing Illegal Radio Abuse Through Enforcement Act, or Pirate Act, which was subsequently codified as Section 511 of the Communications Act. Section 511 states any person who willfully and knowingly does or causes or suffers to be done any pirate radio broadcasting shall be subject to a fine of not more than $2 million and not more than $100,000 for each day the offense occurs. So 2 days. Let's see here. It says on March 26th, following a complaint regarding pirate radio station known as La Ponderosa 89.1 FM, field agents from the FCC's Boston field office monitored the frequency 89.1 megahertz in Waterbury, Connecticut, and used direction finding techniques, traced the source of the signal to a residence located at, and this is redacted, Seymour Street in Waterbury, Connecticut. Agents took field strength measurements of the station's signal and determined it exceeded the limits for operation under Part 15 rules. The agents listened to it, recorded the station, and found it was rebroadcasting Noti Uno 630, a licensed AM station in San Juan, Puerto Rico. A review of commission records revealed no authorization for any FM broadcast station to operate at or near the Seymour Street site on that frequency. Same on April 23rd, 2024. They used direction finding techniques and confirmed the source of the signal on 89.1 to continue to originate from the Seymour Street site. They took measurements again. The complaint identified the station's streaming site, and agents determined that the audio streamed from the site was the exact match for over-the-air programming on 89.1 megahertz in Waterbury, Connecticut. On April 24th, 2024, agents spoke with Gonzalez at the Seymour Street site. Gonzalez admitted to operating the station on 89.1 megahertz at the location. He said that he did not have a license and that he rebroadcast radio programs from the internet. While at the Seymour Street site, agents observed a radio transmitter displaying the frequency of 89.1 megahertz and a computer displaying Noti Uno 630 AM. Agents conduct social media research for the station and found that Gonzalez's Facebook page containing advertising images of La Ponderosa 89.1 FM. The station's Facebook page link to the station's streaming site and host of the same advertisement for the station. So here you go. It's all said and done here. Let's see. In applying statutory factors, we consider whether there is any basis for upward or downward adjustment of the forfeiture, we find none. After applying Section 1.80 of the Commission's rules for statutory factors and consistent with the forfeiture policy statement, Gonzalez is apparently liable for a proposed total monetary forfeiture of $40,000. All right, so that's story number 1. Let's go on to story number 2. This one's for $60,000. We won't hit all the details on each of these. In this notice of liability, we propose penalty of $60,000 against Wilfredo Ayala for operating an unauthorized radio station known as La Tropica Radio on 94.5 megahertz in Hartford, Connecticut. What is it about Connecticut all of a sudden? March 28th, April 23rd, and April 24th of 2024. Those are almost identical days. That's crazy. Move down to the factual background. On March 28th of 2024, the FCC's New York and Boston field offices monitored the 94.5 megahertz in Hartford, Connecticut, and using direction finding techniques, traced the source signal to a commercial building located on 30 Arbor Street in Hartford, Connecticut. Upon locating the source of this broadcast, agents took field strength measurements of the station signal to determine that it exceeded the legal limits under Part 15. The agents also observed a FM broadcast antenna on the roof of the Arbor Street site, from which a cable led to the first floor window of the building. The agents determined the antenna was a type utilized a standard coaxial connector and was therefore not compliant with Part 15 rules. A review of commission records revealed no authorization for any FM station to operate on or at or near the Arbor Street site on any frequency. They did the same on April 23rd, found it on 94.5, took measurements, and determined that it exceeded the Part 15 limits. Agents also recorded the over-the-air broadcast of the station, in which the station identified as Tropic Radio 94.5. On April 24th, the very next day, agents monitored the station, continuing to broadcast 94.5 using direction-finding techniques, traced the source of the Arbor Street site. In addition, agents photographed the same non-compliant FM antenna. The agents then entered the Arbor Street site and requested to inspect the stations. The agents met with Ayala, who asked them to wait in the hallway as he went into the station office. During this time, agents continued to track the signal and when it was suddenly terminated. Once granted access to the office, agents found typical radio station equipment, including playlists, multiple microphones, an equalizer, and a radio transmitter. The transmitter had been turned off, but was warm to the touch and was being cooled by a large fan underneath. Agents also observed a large poster on the wall with the words LaTropicaRadio.com, Ayala's business card, which he provided to the agents, including the website TropicRadio.com. During the course of the investigation, agents conducted an online social media search, blah, blah, blah. They found all this. So he was in violation too. Let's move on to the next one. And I don't want to keep you here too long. There's $40,000. This is for James Barron of Geneva on the Lake, Ohio. $40,000 on 90.7 megahertz in Geneva on the Lake, Ohio, which Barron, using the alias Jumpin' Jammin' Jimmy, apparently willfully nullified, blah, 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 on June 25th and August 28th, 2024. Okay, this is a little bit deeper. Let's read this a little bit. Operating an unauthorized, we know that. Such illegal operations can interfere with licensed communications, including authorized broadcast and communications by public safety officials. Moreover, such illegal operations pose a danger to the public because they interfere with licensed stations who inform them of public safety messages, including emergency alerts and information regarding weather events and other damages. Okay, so they're just cleaning it up a little bit. New York office was notified of the complaint, and on June 24th, they monitored the frequency 90.7 FM. found the signal to be on Thomas Boulevard in Geneva on the Lake, Ohio. They observed and photographed an FM broadcast antenna on top of the Thomas Boulevard site, I should say. A review showed no radios should be operating from there. August 28th, they again found it again, took field strength measurements and found that it exceeded limits of Part 15. Agents conducted online and they found information about 90.7 on YouTube, and a man that identifies himself as Jumpin' Jammin' Jimmy and states he operates the radio station 90.7. Offers phone number here, request line, and as a contact line for summer bookings for Jumpin' Jammin' Jimmy. Barron is listed as in carrier records as a subscriber for this number. So, a bit of a mess on that one. We'll look at one final one. This one was for $60,000. This comes for Carlos Alberto Vasquez on 99.1 in Perrinsville, Ohio. This was on May 25th, or May 24th, June 25th, and August 28th. Boy, these days are ironically pretty close together. May 24th, monitor the Columbia, Maryland field office monitored 99.1. Single family home on West Jackson Street. Upon locating the source, they took signal measurements. Excuse me. And found that it did exceed the limits under Part 15. They also photographed an FM broadcast antenna mounted on a tower to the left of the site, the residents of West Jackson Street. Found no records that there should be anything there. June 25th, they took measurements, and it was advertised as 99.1 FM and Radio Union Familiar. Not familiar with that. On August 28th, they continued to monitor the station, continued it, the same stuff. They also did a search and found information on the internet. Carlos A. Vasquez is president of Radio Union Familiar. There you go. So $60,000. All these have something in common. You don't get on FM radio if you don't have a license. It's simple. Good Lord. I don't know what goes through people's minds. I don't have a clue what goes through people's minds. Guys, if you want to read these violations, they're very easily findable. Just go to the Federal Communications website and search for the enforcement headlines. Very easy to find. Thought y'all might get a kick out of this. Maybe not. I don't know. But thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate you being here. We'll say 7 threes and catch you on the next one. This is AA4WX WSCB 693.